Center console boat fires. More than half start with an electrical fault. 55% of every insurance fire claim traces back to wiring that never should have left the factory. Whether you're running offshore to the shelf or prepping for tournament season, if you're shopping in the $80,000 to $400,000 center console market, the manufacturers selling you that boat are counting on the fact that you'll never crawl behind the console, pull back the wire loom, and look at what they actually did in there. Marine surveyors and tournament captains who've rewired hundreds of transoms have known for years which builders cut corners and which ones do it right. Crack open the engine compartment, the battery box, the fuel line runs, and it becomes obvious that the price tag on the bow has almost nothing to do with what's hiding behind the gel coat. We're counting down 5 popular center console brands, ranked by what we actually found when we opened them up. Only one earned a passing grade. The boat at number 2 will shock you because its reputation says premium and its wiring says something else entirely. And the boat that landed at number 1 isn't the brand you'd guess in 10 tries. It's the one the guys who run offshore every week have been quietly buying for years. Hit subscribe, because every week we pull back the curtain on what the marine industry doesn't want you to see, so you can spend smarter and stay safer on the water. Here are 5 popular center consoles we cut open and inspected from transom to bow, ranked from disappointing to bulletproof. Number 5. Seafox. The budget build that proves you get what you don't pay for. Seafox sits in the value tier, and the rigging goes beyond budget into genuinely concerning territory. Inside the console, we found wire nuts on stranded marine wire, one of the cardinal sins in marine electrical work. ABYC standard E-11 prohibits wire nuts outright because stranded wire can't grip inside one the way solid conductor does. The connection loosens, resistance builds, heat follows. That's how boats burn. The battery compartment told the same story. Batteries were loose well beyond the 1-inch maximum movement ABYC requires, and the positive terminal covers were undersized, barely clinging to the posts. The fuel line routing lacked the padded clamps every 18 to 24 inches that keep hose from chafing against structure over time. Hose failures contribute to 40% of on-water breakdowns for recreational boats. If you already own a Seafox, get a marine electrician behind that console and replace every wire nut with an adhesive-lined heat shrink ring terminal, properly crimped. That one afternoon could be the difference between a great day on the water and an insurance claim. The boat looks fine on the showroom floor. Nobody asks to see behind the dash before signing. Number 4. Tidewater. The mid-price boat wearing a mid-price disguise over entry-level wiring. Tidewater markets itself as a step up from the bargain brands, and the hull design backs that up. But open the wire runs, and the story changes fast. The conductors were bare copper, not tinned. Marine wire uses tinned copper because salt air and humidity cause rapid corrosion on bare copper, driving up resistance until connections fail and overheat. Every surveyor who's pulled apart a 10-year-old saltwater boat knows it. The wiring was stranded, which is correct, but without tinning, you're on a countdown from the day the boat hits salt water. We also found battery posts stacked with more than 4 wires on a single terminal, classic crowded post syndrome, signaling ad hoc additions with no proper busbar distribution. A full rewire on a 35-foot boat runs $8,000 to $15,000, and that's the bill waiting at the end of bare copper in a marine environment. If you're shopping Tidewater, negotiate a tinned wire rewire into the deal, or walk. If you're already running one in saltwater, pull one connection behind your helm and look at the copper. If it's green, you have your answer. If you're starting to see the pattern, that the brand on the hull and the price on the sticker have almost nothing to do with what's happening inside the wire loom, hit that like button. It helps this reach people serious about what they put their families on. Number 3. Cobia. The respected name that stumbles where it matters most. Cobia occupies the $60,000 to $140,000 range, with models like the 220cc through 280cc, and a long track record building center consoles. The hull construction was respectable: foam-filled stringers, clean gel coat, solid structural integrity. But the rigging told a more complicated story. Sections of fuel hose ran without proper support clamps, close enough to engine components that long-term heat exposure becomes a real concern. Coast Guard Regulation 33 CFR 183 requires USCG Type A 115 hose within 12 inches of the engine, with padded clamps to prevent chafe. We found areas that were borderline. The electrical was a step above Tidewater, tinned wire in most runs, but several connections used scotch lock-tap connectors, which ABYC E-11 also prohibits. One scotch lock in a bilge environment is one future failure point. If you own a Cobia, inspect your fuel routing from engine to tank for hose contacting sharp edges or exhaust without cushioned brackets, and replace any scotch locks with proper ratchet-crimped terminals. Cobia gets overlooked because the name carries weight and the boats ride well. Riding well and being rigged well are two different conversations. Number 2. Yellowfin, the offshore legend with a blind spot that'll cost you. This is the one that hurts. Yellowfin builds some of the most capable deep V offshore hulls in the industry. The 36 and 42 offshore models start around $400,000 and push past $700,000 with quad Mercuries or twin Yamahas and full options. The hull layup was outstanding. Hand-laid fiberglass, serious reinforcement, the kind of build that inspires confidence in 6-foot seas. But the gap between hull quality and systems quality was jarring. The through-hull fittings on the model we inspected were stainless steel, not bronze or Marelon. On older Yellowfins that stay in the water, stainless through hulls are known to corrode, and that's not a wiring inconvenience, that's a sinking hazard. The main electrical runs were clean, but secondary circuits showed automotive-grade components instead of proper marine-grade parts, like Anchor wire or Blue Sea Systems terminals, and automotive components were never designed for constant moisture, saltwater spray, and engine vibration. If you're running a Yellowfin, confirm whether your through hulls are stainless or bronze. If stainless, and the boat lives in the water, get a surveyor with a moisture meter on those fittings immediately. This gets overlooked because of the Yellowfin mystique. When a boat costs north of $500,000, buyers assume every component matches the price. It doesn't. Number 1. Regulator, the one boat rigged right from transom to bow. Regulator builds in Edenton, North Carolina, and the moment we opened this boat up, it was obviously different. Tinned copper wire ran throughout, every connection made with adhesive-lined heat, shrink ring terminals, crimped to spec. No wire nuts, no scotch locks, no tap connectors. Batteries sat secured within the 1-inch movement threshold, positive terminals fully booted, cable routing clean and labeled. The fuel system used proper USCG Type A 115 hose where required, routed clear of exhaust and clamped with cushioned brackets at consistent intervals. The through-hull fittings were proper bronze, not stainless, exactly what a surveyor wants to see below the waterline. The hull employed vacuum-bagged composite in critical structural areas, a step beyond standard hand layup that produces a stronger, more consistent laminate. Whether you're running twin Yamahas or quad Mercuries on the bigger models, the rigging underneath matches the outboards you bolted on. Regulator builds to ABYC standard, not because they have to, but because the people behind these boats understand the rigging is the boat. The hull is just the container. If your budget allows a regulator, you're buying construction quality validated by independent NMMA certification, the kind of build the Coast Guard and ABYC safety data links to meaningfully lower accident rates. Regulator gets overlooked because they don't chase hype. They don't plaster lifestyle content across social media. They just build boats. Right. The flagship 41-footer starts around 1.2 million fully equipped, but the construction standard is the same on their smaller models too. If you made it to the end, you just learned something most people never will. The brand name, the price tag, and the gel coat shine have almost nothing to do with whether the boat underneath is rigged to keep you safe. Smash that like button if this changed how you think about center console construction. Drop a comment and tell me which one surprised you most. Team Yellowfin, because you didn't expect stainless through hulls on a $400,000 boat? Team Cobia, because you thought that price range meant the fuel lines were sorted? Or Team Regulator, because you had no idea anyone was building to full ABYC spec from the wire up? I read every comment. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button and ring the bell so you never miss a video. Sometimes the best boat isn't the one with the biggest sticker price. Sometimes it's the one where the builder spent the money where you can't see it, waiting for you to open it up and finally know the difference.